All right, I'm sitting here with the one and only Captain Ray Lewis, who's joined us here in Philadelphia. For those who don't know you, Captain, give us a little mini bio. Who are you and why are you here?
Yeah, my name is Ray Lewis. I am a retired Philadelphia police captain. I retired 8 years ago and immediately moved up to an abandoned farm in the Catskill Mountain region, which I had bought a year earlier. I was living the Walden-esque lifestyle, very successfully, but then I read about this Occupy movement, and I agreed with everything this movement was about. I saw how the movement was trying to be marginalized by corporate media, and I realized that by coming down in uniform, I'd be able to combat that strategy of corporate media.
Beautiful. And we're so glad that you're here with us, and you bring, of course, your own unique perspective and the perspective of a former policeman, of a retired policeman. So, as you know, Occupy has been very repressed by the police departments, and, you know, I believe it comes from the top down. It's probably Department of Homeland Security. Would you agree with that, first
Absolutely,
of all?
Yeah.
Okay.
This does not originate from the officers on the street. This comes down from higher authorities, Homeland Security, even CIA is involved, FBI, and then that comes down to our mayor, and the mayor passes it down to the police commissioner.
Right, right. So the policemen are essentially following orders.
That's all they're doing.
Right. So we were just having a little conversation about the division in the Occupy movement with those who tend to resist the police anytime they see them with antagonistic behavior, I'm going to call it, versus those who take the opposite approach. So I would really enjoy hearing your perspective on this.
I can relate to those occupiers who are so frustrated that they have so much pent-up anger towards the police for being oppressed that they want to vent and shout at the police and express their anger to the police. But what I say to them is you've got to keep your eye on the goal. And the goal here is the success of this movement, which is to end corporate rule of our lives and our earth. And if you keep your eyes on that goal, you'll realize that sometimes you have to control your anger because we need the police on our side. This is not going to be something won without the police and mainstream America on our side. And when we do vent anger towards the police, it is always recorded, it is always shown on the news, and right away we're turning off mainstream America. They love the police, and they are not going to join a movement where a number of the participants are against the police. The second thing, what happens when you vent this hostility towards the police, you just create a circle the wagon approach. So police officers just see it as an issue of us against them, and you just reinforce that when you're shouting and screaming at the police.
Right. So you suggest that people behave how when they're, you know, chest to chest with a police line. There's a line of occupiers and a line of police. What do you recommend people do?
I recommend that people, the occupiers, humanize themselves to the police, and this is done through respectful conversation with the police officers on the line when they are not in a high emergency situation, when they're basically there on a detail and they're at freedom to listen and even reply to what occupiers have to say. A lot of occupiers say, well, I don't know how to humanize myself to the police. I don't know what to say.
And I'll just stand there.
First, give them a name. Let them personalize yourself with a name. I'm so-and-so. Personalize it with where you're from. And then the ultimate personalization is to explain to the officer why you are there. And everybody, therefore, has something to say to a police officer because everyone has a reason why they are there.
And you mentioned something about calling officers by name. What was that point?
Okay, when you approach an officer, you may see his name tag, and you may think it's a sign of respect to say, hello, Officer Jones, or hello, Officer Smith, or whatever. And you're saying it's a sign of respect. It's best to just say, hello, officer, because when you use their name, unfortunately, they believe then you may be saying that to let them know that, aha, I got your name. If I see you later on doing something, I'm going to be reporting you. So although it sounds very respectful from your viewpoint, the police officer can misinterpret that. So just say, hello, officer.
Right, so they can receive it as threatening rather than as respectful.
Absolutely, if you use their name.
Right, that's really good to know. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you so much, because it is this independent media that is running this movement. Without you, you don't see Fox interviewing me.
Right.
And, or ABC, NBC, or CBS.
Right.
It's you and other independent media people. And without you, the movement is dead. Don't ever underestimate the contribution you're making.
Thank you so much. And just FYI, I was in the right place at the right time, and Capt Ray Lewis just bought me lunch.
Disclaimer.
And we're having a really wonderful lunch together here with a couple other.
The media, Ray Lewis, I am shocked. It turns out that the media turned for a veggie burger and a lemonade and a few fries, freedom fries. I haven't ascertained whether they were French fries or freedom fries. But Ray Lewis, I am shocked at this reciprocal behavior with the media.
You caught it. But I brought you guys lunch too, and you're not reporting.
Well, I'm WBAI. Actually, I've already had you on the radio, so in the end,
he's buying off the independent media. That's it. I'm Freedom, Occupy Freedom LA, bringing you the story from the front lines of the evolution. Peace.